1945. Fascism had been defeated, but at great human cost. Atomic weapons had been deployed for the first time, and a World War III was unthinkable. In San Francisco, 51 nations came together for what would become the first meeting of the United Nations. Its ambition: to save future generations from the scourge of war and to reaffirm faith in human rights, to uphold international justice, and to promote social progress. No pressure then. It began with a budget of just $19 million, serving a global population of 2.3 billion people. The power would be held by the Allies who had won the Second World War, and they called the shots at the UN Security Council, the body which approves or vetoes the use of military force. Expansion was slow, as the Cold War enemies, the USA and the USSR, tried to prevent each other's allies from joining. But by the early 1960s, UN membership had doubled to 100 countries, and its agencies were multiplying. And while a new world war had been narrowly avoided, peace and prosperity was absent from much of the globe. As colonization ended in Africa, the continent struggled with famine, civil war, and apartheid. There was simmering war in the Middle East, and the great powers extended their conflict into space. Slowly, some important victories were achieved. By the 1970s, the UN's World Health Organization declared smallpox extinct. Its peacekeeping and refugee operations were awarded Nobel Prizes. The rights of women across the world rose up the agenda, and the UN rank swelled to 150 countries. By the 1990s, the Cold War was over, and the UN was catapulted into playing a bigger role in maintaining the new world order. Members signed up to tough promises regarding climate change in Kyoto. And as the year 2000 approached, the UN agreed on the Millennium Development Goals. But the new century brought new wars, and with them refugees and humanitarian crises. The Security Council was bypassed for American-led interventions in Afghanistan and Iraq, and natural disasters such as the Indian Ocean tsunami required multi-agency response. In 2015, the UN has 193 members. It oversees 16 separate peacekeeping missions. Its 4 main buildings occupy 18 acres of Manhattan, and its 85,000 members of staff serve over 7 billion people. Each year it spends around $40 billion, more than 2,000 times its first budget in 1946. The challenges of this new century are vast. At 70 years old, is the United Nations able to adapt? And can it live up to its founding ideals?
Next time you use the bathroom, take a moment to reflect on this. More people around the world have access to mobile phones than to toilets. The numbers are actually quite close, both are around the 4.5 billion mark, but the implications are clear.